Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is 401 Styling. Today I'm going to be showing us how to cut and sew a flare pant just like this one that you're seeing on the screen. Okay, so for this tutorial we are going to start by drafting the pattern before we transfer to the fabric and we cut and sew. So here I already have my measurements. You just need your basic trouser measurements, but the only difference is just that the length is going to be shorter. Okay, so you can do this directly on your fabric, and at the same time you can use a pattern paper. So from the top of your fabric or paper you go down by 4 inches, and from the front you go in by 4 inches, and you're going to create a vertical and horizontal line just like the way I'm doing. Okay, so either your fabric or your paper, you can repeat the same process. It's still going to give you the same result. Now here at the top is where we are going to extend our crotch, and at the same time at the front. But before that we need to create a circle, like a semicircle for our radius. So we are going to be dividing our waist circumference into 3. So whatever waist circumference you're working on, you're going to divide it into 3, and whatever you get is what you're going to use to create your radius. So let's assume you get 8 inches. You are going to start from this point here, and you're going to measure round. Okay, we're going to measure around to create like a curve or a half circle, just like we did for our peplum. Okay, we're going to use the waist circumference divided by 3 to get the radius. So I'm going to do that now. So to make this kind of trouser, you will need nothing less than 2 yards of fabric. If you have excess, it is better, and this also depends on the size of the person you are working on or the length of the trouser itself. After that, you are going to take the length of the trouser, but before that you need to subtract the height of the band from the length. Then you start your measurement from this point. You have your radius and mark down. So the length I'm using is 15 inches. Alright, so now to make it easier for you, you can just measure from the 15 inches to the top of your pattern like so. Altogether I have 22.5 inches, so I'm going to mark the 22.5 inches round. So whatever value you have, you're going to measure it round, and this way you'll be able to have an accurate 23 inches rather. You're going to be having an accurate measurement. Okay, so you can just calculate the length by adding your radius to the main length of the pant. Then after that you are going to create a circle by connecting your points together, just like you see me doing. So after this, now you indicate the front and the back. Then you are going to measure whatever you have here and divide it into 2. You measure around this your waist area, just like you see me doing. You can either use your cm or you use your inches. This depends on what works for you. So whatever you have here, you find the midpoint and mark this way. So you are going to repeat the same thing on the length of the trouser. Okay, and you're going to divide whatever you have into 2 equal half, find the midpoint, and you're going to connect with a straight line just like I just did. Okay, that's going to take time, so that's why I did it off camera. Okay, I'll just make the line visible now. Then you're going to decide on where you want to make the front and where you want to make it back. So here is going to be my front, and here is going to be the back. Okay, you can do the same thing on your fabric as well. Just mark with your chalk and you just indicate. Now here is where we're going to be creating our crotch. All right, from this waistline here, you're going to measure down to your crotch depth. Okay, this process is just the same way we did for our normal pants. All right, it's just that the shape of our pants is going to be like a flare and it's going to be shorter. So now remember, you have your band height. You're going to add it to the crotch length, then you're going to mark. So mine is stopping at 10 inches. Then after that, now you're going to go out by your crotch extension. So for the crotch extension, now you are going to go out by 2 inches from this point that you have your crotch line. Okay, if your hip is more than 40, you can just measure 3 inches. Okay, so here we are going to create our curve. All right, it's just going to be a guide. You mark 1 inch diagonally from this point out. You're just going to mark it. You can connect with a straight line, at the same time you can just use a point. This is just going to guide us when we are creating our curve, so that we don't have a curve that's too deep or too shallow. All right, so just go ahead and do the same thing like this. So after this, now the next thing you want to do now is to come to the length of the trouser. Then you mark 1 inch from the center front, just like you see me doing. All right, you mark 1 inch this way. You can simply connect it like so. Then you're going to connect back to this crotch curve here. All right, using your straight line. Okay, just like we used to do for our pants, but because this one is shorter, it's going to look shorter. All right, so that is that for the front crotch. All right, now the next thing you want to do is to move to the back, and we're going to create the back crotch as well. All right, same process applies to the back as well. You're going to measure your crotch depth, but you are going to subtract the height of the band. All right, so and remember that at the back we used to raise our back because of what we have at the back. So from here now you're going to mark 1.5 inch upward. Okay, just like we used to raise the back of our pants. Then you're going to connect back to this center line with a curve. But before that, we will need to work on the crotch. All right, remember we said you're going to subtract 1.5 inches from your crotch length. So wherever it's up, you're going to mark. So here I have my 1.5. Forget about the raising. We are still going to add our band. Now I'm going to mark 2.5 inches. Here I'm going to connect like so. And from these 2.5 inches, we are going to connect to the waistline. So, but before that, I'll need to connect the waistline with a curve, just like you see me doing. It's not going to be a very serious curve. And then from the crotch extension, I'm going to connect back to the waist, just like you see me doing. So after this, now you go to the length of the pants and you go out by 2 inches or 1.5 inches. So for this one, I'm just going to maintain 1.5 inches. Then I'm going to connect back to the crotch extension. All right, so the width of the trouser is actually wide, so 1.5 inches should be okay. All right, so that is that for the back crotch and back crotch extension. So after this, now I'm going to add 0.5 inch allowance all through to all my pattern, the crotch area, the waist area, and the hem of the trouser. So guys, I'm done, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, I added my seam allowance of 0.5 all round, except for the trouser length that I added 1 inch for the folding or the hem allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to cut out my pattern. So just watch closely the way I'm going to be cutting it. When you are cutting on the waistline, make sure you do not cut on this first line. You cut on this last line and you continue cutting like so. All right, so after cutting out your pattern, now the next thing I'm going to do is to fold this pattern into two. Remember, we have a line at the center like this, so I'm going to be cutting this out. Okay, and that is going to be our side front and the side back. All right, so here is our pattern. It is ready. I'm going to label this accordingly. So when you are transferring this to the pattern, there will be no need of adding allowance except for the side front and side back. And if you want to add a pocket to the side, you just go down by 5 inches or 4.5. This depends on the type of pocket you wanted to add. I have a video on how to add pockets to a pant trouser, a short pant. So I'm going to drop the link below. So kindly check this out, and I'm going to be dropping other interesting videos, interesting tutorials as well. So for this, I'm going to be labeling it accordingly. So I'm going to write the length. I'm writing the length, the waist circumference, the crotch, and how many pieces I'm going to be needing for each of this pattern. All right, so here we are, our pattern is ready. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to transfer this to my fabric. Then we are going to cut, and so it's going to be straightforward, so not worry. Then we are going to cut a waistband as well for this, because it's going to have a waistband. So guys, I already transferred my pattern to the fabric, so you can make use of any fabric of your choice. This is just the one I can lay my hand on right now. Okay, sorry for about the brightness. It's quite late and I really want to finish up this tutorial, so I'm sorry about that. Bear with me. Then I cut the waistband and I added my interface to both the main fabric and the one I'm going to be using for the lining. Okay, so to cut the waistband, you can just place the waist of the trouser on another paper or another fabric, trace out the waist and mark the band height, then you add your joining allowance. Okay, so now the first thing we are going to do now is to join the side, or you start by joining the crotch. Okay, but the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be joining the side for the front and the back together. I already had my seam allowance, so you go ahead and do the same thing. Okay, remember when we are drafting the pattern, we only add to the center front, the hem and the crotch area. Okay, so but this time around I added to the side front and the side back. In case you want to add pockets to yours, you really need to add your seam allowance. So for the front, you can either start by joining the crotch, just like I've said before, or you just join the side together. So the way I used to do mine, I'll start by joining the side of the front and the back piece together. So I'm going to place the front piece and the side piece on each other, just like you see me doing, and I'm going to join the side using the 0.5 seam allowance that I added. Okay, so even if you do not add allowance to this, it might not actually disturb your measurement because the trouser is wide. But what about the waist area? Is going to reduce the measurement, so you need to add to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and join this for both the two piece. Okay, you know we are going to have two legs rather, I'm sorry, just hope you understand. So guys, I already joined the side together and this is what it should look like. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do now is to join the crotch area, and at the same time you're going to secure the hem. But before anything, we would start by joining the front crotch, okay, using your added seam allowance. So you go ahead and place the two pieces on each other like so, align the center, then secure it with a pin. This my fabric is kind of, it's too light, so I work with pins all the time. So I'm going to hold the center, then I'm going to sew the front crotch using my added seam allowance. Now I'm done with that, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to take the waist circumference, okay, and I'm going to start from the front, okay, towards the back. So whatever your measurement or your value is, divide it into two, and you measure from the front. So this is where mine stop, and the remaining allowance I have here is going to be my zipper allowance. Even if you are not going to add a zip to the back, no matter allowance you have left, you are going to stitch it down and back to your crotch area. Okay, but because I'm going to be having a zipper at the back, I'm going to include the height of the band before I join it. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that you measure your band height 1.5 inches. From the 1.5 inches, you measure down to where you want your zipper to stop. Okay, then you mark the point. So from that point, you're going to stitch down to your crotch extension or where your crotch stops. Okay, so I already did that, and this is what I have. Okay, so this is the opening. I hope we understand now. Okay, so now here is where we are going to fix our zipper, but before that we are going to join the inseam for the trouser, that is the inner leg, the inner part, the part that is in between our lap and thigh. Then we are going to add our waistband. Okay, so here is the inseam. I hope you understand now. So you are going to align the center together, secure it with a pin, then you are going to run your stitch all through from one end to the other like so. Okay, with your added seam allowance. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to fix my waistband to the waist before I fix the zip, because I want my zipper to enter into the waistband. Okay, so I'm just going to do that now and show us what we have. So guys, this is my waistband. I already joined the front and the back together because I want to have a single piece. Okay, of course my joining by the side is not going to enter into the band. I already joined the side together already. So, and as you can see, it's giving the curve shape that we should have on our waistband because of the shape of our belly. Then I'm going to come in with my trouser. I already joined the inner leg. So what I'm going to do is to fix the waistband on the waist area. So you're going to start by placing the right side of the band on the wrong side of the trouser. Then you're going to turn it inside out so that you're going to finish up the sewing to the front. So please, if you do not know how to fix a waistband to a skirt or a trouser, kindly let me know in the comment section so I can make a detailed video on that so that I'll be able to see clearly. Okay, so I'm just going to do that now. I'll fix my zipper and I'm done already, guys. So this is what it looks like. Then I'll go ahead and secure the hem by folding in my 1-inch allowance that I had it. As you can see, this is what our trouser looks like, and this is how the zipper is going to be. So if you want to fix a zip to the front, this is left to you. And if you want to have a pocket by the side as well, I already have a video on how to fix a front zipper with a shield and fly. Then I have a video on how to fix a side pocket. So guys, this is what our trouser looks like at the end. As you can see how free the hem is going to look like. Okay, and this is my band. So you can rock this with your crop top, you can rock it with a bralette. If you want to know how to make a bralette, I also have a video on that. So kindly let me know what you think or your thoughts about this video in the comment section. I really appreciate you guys supporting this video, supporting this channel, supporting me directly and indirectly. Thank you so much, guys. I really love you. And till next time that we meet in my next tutorial, kindly drop in the comment section if you have a video request. And do not forget to like, share this video, and also subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell so that you get notified anytime I drop a new video. So till next time that we'll meet in my next tutorial, thank you and bye bye.